Dr. Mike Fortini, and we're sitting here with Jennifer Dean. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
You see, I said hey.
You did say hey.
I got my New York hey coming in. Yeah, you're a chiropractic assistant. You work at the WNC Holistic Center.
I do.
And you've been in the profession of health for how long now, would you say?
About a year and a half.
Okay. And you have had some amazing decisions in your life that you made about your health.
I have.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind sharing, what was your childhood like, teenage years, adulthood?
From the perspective of health, I was always overweight as a child, but I was happy. But struggled with my weight all my life. Was on the Atkins diet when I was 7. Did every diet under the sun growing up.
7 years old? 7 years old on Atkins diet?
Yes, my mom put me on the Atkins diet at 7. And so at that age, I think is when it started to get ingrained in me. There was something different about me or wrong with me or whatever, because I couldn't do what everybody else did. But, I stayed active. I played softball for 16 years. I wasn't, horribly overweight, but just progressively got more and more as I got older, and my habits didn't change. And I went on lots of different diets throughout the years, Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, all kinds of things, and would lose a good bit of weight each time. And it was in 2015, I had to have my gallbladder out. And for one of those tests, I was told I had fatty liver disease by a gastroenterologist, that it wasn't even about a weight issue that I had gone to see him for. But he informed me I had fatty liver disease, and I didn't know what that was. And after a scan, was told I had stage 3 and that I would be on a transplant list or dead within 5 years if I didn't lose a lot of weight fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what give me an idea, going back to 7 years old, how tall are you, and what was your height and ratio then?
Honestly, I don't know. I was always average height. I was not really tall, but I wasn't excessively short either. I know I was bigger. I can remember, I don't know about that 7-year age, but I remember having to shop for husky boys pants because they didn't make plus size back then. And so I remember having a hard time not being able to find the kind of clothes that my friends wore and stuff like that.
And what about nutrition wise? What was your house? Was there a lot?
Well, my parents ate well. Growing up, I remember them having, vegetables and things like that. But my house was the house all the kids wanted to come to, because we had Little Debbie snacks. We always had Cokes, sodas, orange grape sodas. We always had chocolate milk. We always had chips and white bread. And my friends loved to come to our house all the time because we had every crappy food that was out there. So.
Okay. And as you move through your teenage years, do you associate those foods had anything to do with your weight or diet, or?
I don't know, because thinking back on it, like I said, I played softball all through high school. So I could actually, obviously I could still move, or I wouldn't have been able to play, but I was overweight. I was the fat friend, that everybody had. But, so activity level was decent. But eating wise, I never really thought during my high school years, I didn't think about eating healthy. I ate what everybody else ate,
And so how did you feel like when you were alone at night or alone during the day? Because I just heard you say that you were everyone's fat friend. You said it nonchalant, like it was like you were okay with it. That's my judgment,
Yeah, well, it got to be a thing, I guess, where I started seeing things on TV, or maybe it was movies or something, where there would be 3 beautiful girls and 1 fat girl. That was the friendly, smiley one, and none of the guys wanted to see her or whatever, but they would talk, because it was all in the group. And I felt, I connected with that persona, I guess. And so that's when I kind of took on. Never had dates in high school, never had boyfriends in high school or anything like that.
No. Did you associate that with your looks?
Well, I mean, my mom was always telling me I was beautiful, you know, but I also heard, you know, you're so pretty, if you just lose some weight, you'd be better. You know,
Mm.
that's
Mhm,
such a pretty
mhm.
thing. That's what I would hear.
Right.
Yeah. So I felt okay. I didn't feel, I think my mom built up my self-esteem enough to where I had security. I was on the debate team. I was president of several clubs in high school. I was very active academically and socially in high school. So it didn't make me recluse or anything. I was very outgoing,
Right.
but I didn't really think about my weight.
So it's interesting that you're in the health profession. Your last
Mm-hmm.
profession was a health profession. This one is a health profession. You're finding an attraction, I'm guessing, with the area of health.
Mm-hmm.
There's
I
something
am.
that's exciting you. You're on the learning curve.
Yes, I
Uh,
love it. I always wanted to be in the health profession. My mom was an office manager for a pediatrician and for a plastic surgeon for 20 something years. My sister's works at the biggest hospital in Atlanta, but I didn't know how I would get into it since my adult years were not spent in that training. And I was fortunate to get the opportunity to work for the chiropractor I was actually seeing as a patient to begin with in Georgia. And it just turned me on to it because of being able to help people. I'm a people person, and to be able to help them and make a difference in their life. But then on the flip side, I've gotten so much out of relations with my patients that I've received more than I give, I feel like.
right.
So it's very fulfilling. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to guess that people are wondering how heavy you got and what was the maximum. How did you lose weight? You want to talk about?
Hmm. Yeah, sure. You know, your body tends to stay at a level once it hits a spot and say, oh, this must be where I'm supposed to be. So I stayed in the 220s, I would say, for probably 15 years, and my weight started to escalate. And I think it was that was an emotional time I think I was going through, where I just didn't care and didn't care if I had a heart attack. I thought about that, you know, but I got up to my highest weight was my scale read 320, and after that it wouldn't read. So I could have been higher than 320, but I'm not sure.
Sure, sure.
Um,
And you're about 5'6".
5'5". Yeah,
Say again?
I'm 5'5".
5'5". Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, then when I got that high, I was told that my liver. I went to my doctor and asked if he would help me with a plan to try to lose weight on my own, because the other doctor had recommended surgery, and I didn't want that to be the option to go to. And so I worked with my PCP individually on plan, and ate right and focused on exercising, and I dropped 80 pounds in a
Wow.
year, in about 13 months. Yeah, doing that. But even after dropping 80 pounds, it wasn't enough. I was still severely overweight. And so I decided to do the gastric sleeve surgery, which is half of the gastric bypass surgery, where they just cut 3/4 of my stomach out and take it out. So my stomach is smaller. It's about the size of a banana. And so since that surgery, I've lost another almost 70 pounds.
Okay, I want to
So
go back to your PCP for a second, because their model of practice isn't really nutritional guidance and weight loss.
no, it was basically a generic. I mean, I guess I did it more on my own because I'd done it so long during my lifetime. I knew the things I should do, and basically the formula, you know, was eat less and exercise more, and that was what was going through my head the whole time. But I was given things to eat, but I already knew what that was. So they just wanted to monitor me and watch, you know, my liver. You know, I did test every 3 months to check my liver enzymes and stuff like that to see if it was helping. I didn't get a clear scan until after my surgery. 3 months post-op was when all my labs came back perfect. So I was off of all my blood pressure meds, and my cholesterol was down, and everything was better from losing the weight.
Before the gastric bypass?
After the surgery.
Before the sleeve?
No, after the sleeve.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So were they talking about BMI before your sleeve, or was any doctors talking to you about what that is? And
No.
too popular. Yeah. Okay. So your decision to do the surgery was, I'm going to guess, primarily a health decision. It wasn't an aesthetic, decision.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, yes, the aesthetic part of it was a plus. I mean, that was something that was exciting, and it did help motivate, and inspire me to to do the 3-week liquid diet before surgery and things like that, because I kept trying to imagine what life would be like. It was hard to imagine, but you know, what would it be like to, and I never thought it would be this, but it was mainly health. I mean, I've got well, at the time I had 1 grandchild, you know, I've got 2 kids and a husband, and, you know, wanted to live a long, healthy life, and decided it was time to start focusing on me, you know, for once, because after 30 years of raising kids, you kind of forget to put yourself first.
Did I hear you say 3-week liquid diet before the surgery?
Yeah, it was supposed to be 2. It was actually 3.5 weeks, but it was a glitch with my insurance approval, so it took longer. So I had to remain on the liquid diet because they didn't have the approval before my surgery date. So they had to bump my surgery date up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So after the surgery, what were the next month or 2 or 3 like? How did that go for you?
It goes in stages. So the first month after surgery, it's strictly liquids still. Protein shakes. I would drain soups and just drink the broth. So it was strictly liquids for a while, and then you start introducing soft foods. I didn't have any carbs though. My surgery was in May, and I didn't have any bread or anything until January of the next year. I haven't had a soda in 2 years. Over 2 years.
Was that the recommendation that they told you to stay
Yes.
with carbs?
Yes. I mean, as far as they recommended not introducing them at all, my surgeon's office did, or, you know, if you do it in moderation, you know.
I wonder why. Why carbs? Why would they, you know?
Well, because it's turned to sugar, and they don't want you to have too much sugar. They focus on protein with the surgery. They want a high protein diet. You know, low fats, low carbs, and high protein.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that impact your life, your family, your friends? What bounced back at you? What messages were you getting?
I got really total support. My husband was not supportive at first of the idea of the surgery, but then once I had it, he was all on board and has never balked or golfed at anything I wanted to make for dinner or grocery shopping. You know, he would go along with it and be okay with it. My kids are grown and they were, you know, out of the house by that time, so I didn't have to worry about feeding little kids. That would probably be a different story, and that's one reason this happened when it did, I think, because I was finally able to do something for myself or I wasn't caring for so many other people. But it's been good to bounce back. I haven't had anything. I can't say there's one negative thing from having it done, you know.
And for you, how's the impact, you know, being that you're in another body right now because you've lost how many pounds?
Like 146.
Right. So that old identity still has to linger in there, I'm guessing?
And it does sometimes, yeah. I see what I look like in the mirror, but when I look at myself, I see the fat parts. And so I still see myself and associate with being big. I know I'm not, but there's certain times I see things and surprised. I mean, stupid things like when I sit in a booth and there's a ton of space between me and the table, or when I sit in my car and I can see both sides of the seat, you know. I mean, there's things like that when you're big, you don't have the luxury. It's not even a luxury, but you don't have those things. So when I start having them, that's when I notice it more. Right. Or walking hills and I'm not out of breath.
We're going to take a quick break for our sponsor, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And so, Jen, we're coming close to the end of the interview here. We know that right now you're working with a vitalistic lifestyle program, and
yes,
that's the WNC Holistic Center.
That's correct.
So, and you have practice members that are coming in. They were coming in initially for pain relief, and then along the way learned about health and now want to lose weight also.
Right.
How confident do you feel in this vitalistic lifestyle program that you will be, you know, saving people, helping them with their weight? How is your confidence there?
Oh, it's definitely a 10 out of 10 as far as I'm so excited to be doing it, to be able to educate and inspire other people, because education is the main key with this, because it's teaching people things they may have never heard before, language and words and ways of thoughts that, you're gonna influence, potentially generations of people with this, which is so exciting, because you're not just changing them, you're changing their families, you're changing their friends potentially, even if they never step foot in the office. They're going to take with them after they leave and finish the program successfully so many tools that they'll use for the rest of their lives. They're going to pass it along because they're going to be successful.
Next podcast, I know you're going to talk about the program, and we don't have the time to do that now. Is there something you can say that can give us, is this a diet that people are going on? You're putting people on a diet?
It's not a diet. It's a way of life. It's a shift in perspective on how you're living, shopping, moving, everything. It's an eye-opening experience.
Right. And okay, what is if you were to give us an idea, what is one thing that the aha people are going, wow, I didn't realize that? What's happening in that area with the program?
The biggest aha I think that we've seen so far with it is when we tell people something to eat or a way to do something, and it goes against everything they've always heard their whole life. And it makes them go, just like that. They go, okay. And how can that be? That's the fun part is teaching them and letting them see the results for themselves.
Right. Is it causing resistance with people? Because people don't like to change.
I haven't seen much. I really haven't. I mean, the patients we're seeing are excited and supported and loved through it, and we're all doing it together, which makes it even better.
Anything that you want to add before we close out?
No, just come see us at WNC Holistic Center.
I want to acknowledge you, Jen, for your motivation and for your passion in the area of health. We've worked together now for 7 months, I'm going to guess. About that?
Yes.
Yeah. And I look forward to each week passing, because I see the joy that you have. I hear it when you speak to practice members, and it fills me right away. So it's exciting to work with you. I look forward to the future, and hopefully we'll have some people come on and give testimonies of how this program has changed their life.
Yes, that would be great. That would be
Excited for that. All right. Well, if you were to leave behind, let's say that as soon as this podcast ends, you were to disappear off the planet, and everything that everyone knew about you was gone. All the information that you had shared with everybody to help lose weight and everything, everything, but they could just remember two things. What two things would you want to say that everyone should take with them? What two thoughts, mindset, heart set, anything?
The first would be to follow your dreams no matter what. Don't wait to do that. Follow your dreams. And the other would be, don't ever think you can't, because doing anything consistently and with the right end result in mind will get you what you want in life.
All right, I hear you got a call. This is Dr. Michael Fortini. We're here at the WNC Holistic Center, and we thank you and appreciate you for tuning in. We were with Jen Dean today. She's the chiropractic assistant, soon to be X-ray technologist at the center, right? X-ray tech coming up. All right. God bless everyone. Have a great day.